Hello everyone, this is Hadrian. Thank you for watching. Let's play some more Total War Attila in our Eternal Empire series, where Attila himself appears to be wounded. I don't know if I can actually see information on whether or not he's died once or twice yet. I don't see anything. The game didn't tell me anything about whether or not he'd already been defeated in battle. But he's wandered into our territory. It's winter. If he stays here, he'll suffer winter attrition and have three fully formed armies, one of which will be fully regenerated, almost, next turn. So, yeah. There still looks like a bit of a disease problem in Siaka, which is nice and annoying, because it's hurting our army there. I need to start thinking about getting this army out, though. So what I'm going to do is just move them. No, I'll move them all the way down here because they're not going to suffer any attrition. I'm going to see if we can maybe recolonize this area as a way to set up an attack on Mutiskata in the coming turns. So yeah, we're not going to do anything to fight the Huns this turn because it's winter. And because moving troops right now would be silly. But my hope is that next turn Attila comes a little bit further into my territory out of stupidity. And then I can do a lot of damage to him before he is able to realize that we're about to stab him in the back. Because we are not at war with the Huns right now. Alright, so in Betis here we're going to do an Auxilia barracks. We're going to do battle engineering and stalker. Very unlikely that we're ever going to need to use this Middle East recruiting port that I'm building. But I'm still building it. I just think that it would be for the best. Let's go ahead and do some food in Dagestan. Upgrade Fra all the way. And now let's see. Yeah, Domavia is ready for that farm. I almost gave it last turn. Then I was like, just kidding. Thessalonica, we're going to do supply storage because we will have artillery recruitment happening there. And that's pretty much it, I think. This is meager. Alright, so... Just do a horse breeder and Sinope. Wealth is more important in a meager province at this point. I appreciate those of you who gave me feedback earlier in the series. I don't know if you're still watching, but who gave me feedback on, you know, the food stuff in Total War Attila, because, you know, I've played a lot of Total War Attila campaigns, but I just never paid quite close enough attention to the way that wheat fields truly are completely useless to you below level 2 fertility or so. At level 2 or higher, they're still good. So when you're poor or better, I think poor, average, good, rich, or if you're playing with fertility +1, fertile, you're fine, but they're useless to you otherwise. So anyway, let's go ahead and end the turn. And we're gonna see what, if anything, Attila and his cronies decide to do. I really, really hope that he comes further into my territory, because right now he doesn't have a stack reinforcing him, and I could jump him badly. I could do, especially since the Western Roman rebels over here at the end of the last episode actually killed a Hunnic stack that was hanging out here. I'm in a pretty decent position at the moment. Oh, interesting. Has that always been owned by the... Is that the Jutes? I think that's the Jutes. Oh, interesting. They came back. The Huns came back with a vengeance. Right. So they're pulling some of their stacks. He came further in, but not the direction I wanted him to come. Damn. He's marched right up to Constantinople, which I might be able to get to him there, but it doesn't give me the maneuvering room because my forces have to march a good way to get down there. So we'll see how we do here. That's annoying. That he drove all the way, or that he rode all the way down to Constantinople in the snow too. So that couldn't have been good for his men. It's still snowy as well. Alright, so we're gonna bring this army back down to Constantinople.
Ready for battle.
Tell you what, here's what we're going to do.
I want hourly patrols.
I'm going to move them to all 3 cities in the Thracia province.
Ready for orders.
So I've got him in the middle. No matter where he goes, he'll be in range of something next turn. I'm going to leave everything alone this turn because, frankly, it's still snowy, and snow is crap for trying to make tactical decisions and moves. Trying to rebuild these city centers as rapidly as possible. So there's not much else going on in those particular regions, but I'm rebuilding them anyway. Dardania is meager, so let's go ahead and just do a sheep flock. And let's do a Tabernet, Pewter Caster, and that's it for that turn. Didn't I see something? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. We promote some people. Master of Foot. Master of Soldiers. Military count. 2 military count. 3 military count. Hey, 4 military count. That was easy. Indonius Canis, one of our generals in the Middle East, one of the ones that's still out there, is leveled up. He is 62 and still leading troops like a boss.
At your command.
Alright, and this army, meantime, I'm going to send them around to where they'll be in range of Paytak. Whoa, what are you doing? I told you to go there. Thank you. They're still not going to suffer any attrition because they're not moving through the... They're not moving through snow.
Ready for battle.
Alright, let's end the turn. Now, this next turn, if Attila hasn't moved, I'm going to bring all 3 of those armies down around him. Because he's camped right now. He would have to pull up. He might be trying to build something, so he might have to stay there for a turn. If he does, I've got him. Now, I don't know if he's already died, so we'll find out. But we are going to attack him. We're going to fight him in battle. It's going to be awesome. Assuming he doesn't move. We're about to find out what he does. There he goes. He's still in my territory. I think I could do this. And next turn, of course, all this snow will be gone because it'll be summer. This is going to be interesting. Finally, time to do some damage to the Huns. Alright, yeah, there's still... Really? Who just lost their... Okay, defamation, let's pay that guy off. Our income is nice and high, but one of our Master of Soldiers that was there is out of rhythm with the rest of people receiving promotions. So right as I promoted that group, he lost his term was up, which is so annoying. And now I don't think he has enough influence to get the job back, because I can't find anyone with an open spot for Master of Soldiers. This guy looks like it is, but he's the Commander-in-Chief. So that would be a big demotion and would piss him off.
At your command.
Okay, so it looks like...
We hunger for battle.
Right, I'm going to move this army outside of Siaka and fortify them. But it does look like the problem here, the illness problem, has been solved. So hopefully those guys will get better in the next turn.
Ready for
Also, I'm going to recolonize this right now.
At your command.
So we've just recolonized Gabala. You may remember several episodes ago, this was another province that I actually destroyed. So we're continuing to undo our own destructive tendencies here.
Commander.
Yeah, Attila,
We hunger for
I think I can do this. I can do this. Oh my god, I can. Yes, I can. All right.
At your command.
So here's how this is going
Ready
to
for
work.
orders.
Can I actually move to the other side of him?
At once.
Oh,
Further orders.
no way.
March.
I can pin him in there. The only way he'd be able to escape is if he went... Oh, he's got sand on either side of him, so he actually would be able to get away right now. I don't know if he will actually try and run. Tell you what, let's just fight him with 2 armies. Who'd be more tempted to stay. I'm going to bring this army up. I'm going to leave this army in Tremontium. Alright. Yeah, I'm content with this. I feel like we can bring these armies down and do a ton of damage to these stacks to where I don't have to worry too much about this territory. And we're going to do this.
Ready for battle. For death and honor.
He's going to run like a chicken, but he didn't run
Commander.
where I thought he would. So now... Interesting. Hang on. This army is the only one that didn't make a move. So I could move them farther.
Ready for orders. I don't care how tired you are.
Alright, now it's 1v1. Attila's slightly worn down force. I don't know if I like that.
Ready for orders.
That's not good. He ran into the perfect position. I'm doing it. I'm committed now. Alright, so it's showing that we have an overwhelming chance of victory. You guys know I don't trust this, but this is also Attila. So I'm going to fight him myself. We're going to fight this battle on the battlefield and try not to die. This is the Battle of Petrodeva, 442 AD. He's got a bunch of cavalry, like he did last time, but we have a bunch of cavalry now, too. He also has artillery. So he looks like he has a slight hill advantage, but if we come up here, we should be fine. I've also got, looks like I've got the woods on my side. So I could hide in the woods, but because we're attacking, we have to come after him. So that's not necessarily an advantage. Game I saw, I conquered. Veni, Vidi, Vici. Or more accurately, Weni, Witty, Vici. Alright. Alright, here it is. Fighting against Attila. 1-on-1. This was not the way it was supposed to go. And notice the way the count is so different. We have 400, almost 500 more men than he does, which is interesting. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start the battle by having a bunch of my men over here. Alright, we'll have our archers in skirmish mode. We definitely want to have flaming shot turned on for our archers, because flaming shot is good against cavalry. And then we're going to have 2 distinct groups of cavalry, one larger than the other, but with the general. No, not formation group. Election group. Thank you. We're going to have him hiding out in the woods. We're going to have a second group of shot cavalry. They're going to be hiding out there too. Now we're going to take a second to find out what Attila does before we do anything. Because I don't think he's going to come our way. I think he's going to make us come for him. Yeah. It'll be very telling. So he's just positioned his troops. Yeah, he's waiting. That makes perfect sense. We're attacking him. Alright, let's see if we can get our cavalry closer in without pissing him off. I'm going to get the cavalry into loose formations and get them just to charge across into the woods closer to Attila. Yeah, I can see we're well out of their range. The range goes pretty much right up to the trees here. But once we're back in the trees, get back into a tight formation. Alright, so now we need to do a formation group with these troops. What's your artillery range again? close enough. Alright, I'm going to try and use that tree cover over here as well, just to mess with them a little bit. Plus, I'm trying to maximize... I'm trying to take advantage of where I am on the hill to not maximize, but actually to minimize the impact of the hill on the battle. Let's have a look at our troops, shall we? This is a more advanced army than the one that we fought with the first time. At least I think it was. It's definitely more experienced. They have better equipment across the board. Speed up time a bit. Yeah, virtually all of my units are hidden right now, so they can't see anything. Yeah, I have one unit of spearmen and one unit of archers that's hidden. But they know my units are there. They just saw them march. Alright, so... let's see, how are we going to do this? Tell you what, I want to have my men over here. We're going to slow... we're going to do a normal march. We're going to speed up time, and I'm going to have them come over here. Their force is almost entire. Yep, okay, they're reorienting. What I'm going to try and do is open up their backside to my cavalry to where I could just charge in fairly quickly with my Praetorian cavalry unit and take out their artillery and remove that as an element in the battle. Or it's even become a threat. Alright, I'm just going to... there's no sense having them slow march because I can take my time here. I am well out of their artillery range, and now they have their backs turned to my cav, which is hilarious. I'm going to move them up just a little bit. They can break into a charge as rapidly as possible. Right. Alright, so I've got this army here. You know what? I can do even better. I'm going to move them over this direction. This is a little bit of fine-tuning, I know, but got everything sped up. And then what I'm going to do is just have them start marching forward. Now, if I put you all in loose formation, and then turn it off, how perfect does your formation come back together? That's what I want to know. Just because formations are important to me. If you have been watching the series, you know this by now. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna loosen you up so that any artillery volleys are not a threat. We're just going to have them start marching forward. As soon as we can get them to charge a little bit, I'm going to charge my Praetorian cavalry forward and hit their artillery as hard as I can. I'm probably going to take some hits from their artillery in the process. And make sure they're lined up properly. Yes, they are. Should be entering their artillery range now. Yep. First units are moving into range right now, so we should see them start to fire. You'll see some icons pop up. You'll also just see them start to load. They're already loaded, never mind. Alright, so they're firing. They're not firing flaming ammunition. they barely toppled anyone with that first hit. Looks like they did take out some archers there. I see some bloodstains on the ground. That was a pretty good initial salvo. I need them to move their line, though. I need them to get cocky enough to try and charge me. My archers have taken the hardest hits. My foot soldiers are doing okay. My spearmen have taken about 20, 30 deaths. I mean, closing in on 40 deaths now. After that initial round. But they're using up their artillery on me pretty quickly, actually, which... That's not good, but at the same time... Actually, tell you what, if you're going to use up your artillery on me, I'll let you. I will let you use up your artillery on me. That's fine. Their artillery is almost spent. I stand a better chance if I can involve all of my cavalry in this battle. I wasn't expecting their artillery to run out of ammunition this quickly. They've taken out 200 men with their artillery, which is pretty nuts, but my initial cavalry charge is going to do plenty of damage to them too. Problem is that all of their cavalry are these devil archers, the bow cavalry that gave me so much trouble in that first battle. So their foot soldiers, their foot units don't stand a chance, which is why, yeah, they're almost out of bullets here, so... I'm going to go ahead and have everyone condense. Tell you what, let me pause for a second. I'm going to do something a little bit unorthodox. Except not really. The only issue with this formation is I don't think I'm gonna... Yeah, actually, come to think of it. Never mind, I'm not gonna do that. Because... I need my swordsman on the outside. Which is weird. But if I don't put my swordsman on the outside... then there won't be enough on the inside for the archers. But I just want to create a good old box that these jerks can't get through. Or at least have to expend a great deal of effort getting through. To where, in order to approach my units, right, now we're going to put these archers there, and we'll put these archers there. And I'm going to go ahead and get them out of skirmish mode because I don't want them to move. It appears that all their artillery is spent. So now it is time for the actual battle. Our archers are actually moving into range, so we're going to be able to start firing on them in this position. They do not know my cavalry are behind them. Shots fired. Ooh, we just took out a bunch of their archers. Which is excellent. Alright, tell you what. Let's go ahead and make a formation group out of this.
Disbanding battle group awaiting orders.
I'm gonna make sure I did that right. Nope, I didn't.
And awaiting orders.
There we go. Now, I want to get them close. That's risking it a little bit, but I'm going to see if they can make it. There's Attila. Sword cavalry are charging in. Actually got a few guys in, but they're losing quickly. Alright, Cav, trying to do your job. Guys in the middle have gotten torn up while I was giving orders. Holy crap, that's bad.
The whole unit has been destroyed.
How did that happen? I forgot how strong the Huns were. That's how that happened. But I got cavalry charging in right now, so we're gonna try and kill Attila with our remaining archers. That was pretty good. Good. He sustained a terrible injury, so we've hurt him. I don't know why you guys are walking. You are cavalry. Frickin' charge. I swear, how many times in this series have I ordered cavalry to charge and I just look back and they're walking? Literally walking. Battle is swinging in our favor, though.
Fire on the enemy! The enemy has obliterated an entire unit.
We're going to try and finish off these cavalry over here with our archers. Our archers are really strong against these cav. Especially if they charge in like that. Alright, good. We managed to knock out these cavalry back here. Yeah, see, these horsemen are walking. God, I can see why people get so frustrated about the cavalry and artillery. Right, we've run these guys over to the edge of the map. Let's take care of them. This would have gone differently if we had more than one unit, but we're doing okay, all things considered. Damn it! Will you? Sorry, I try not to get too ticked off at the controls in Attila, but as you guys have seen, it can be a little frustrating. Yes, kill that guy, please. Alright, looks like we've got him. Got a few more cavalry units over there, and a cavalry unit over here. The battle's turning in our favor. Have you been paying attention, game? We're going to try and knock out this artillery now while they're charging right towards me like idiots. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. We're going to get wrapped up in a melee, and I'm going to win. See, as soon as you can catch these horse archers, they don't stand a chance against you. Are you walking again? You're walking again. You sons of bitches, get moving! There we go. They're on the run. I'm going to try and chase them down and finish off as many of them as possible, though. Alright, good. Well, that was a little hairy, but we did it. Alright, that unit got away. Alright. We lost 684 men. Or no, we lost 753. We lost more than they did. Jesus. But we hurt Attila. We hurt him. So now I get to find out whether or not we have to kill him 3 different times. Because we'll see what the icon says. If we don't, or not icon, but message. Ah! In your face.
March! At your command. At once. Your next command.
Alright, so now I'm going to have these 2 armies hang out while this guy nurses his wounds a little bit. But let's take a look at the notifications. Yeah, see, I think that was just the first loss for Attila. Because I think the second loss is when you actually see that you've hurt him. So that might have just been the first time. So maybe the second time we have the opportunity to wound him, we will just auto-resolve that, so that we don't have any more crap like that with all their units running around. That went pretty well. We're at the 32-minute mark for episode 66 of Eternal Empire, so I think I'll go ahead and cut this one here. But then we will continue, like in the next, like before I'm done with this turn, I've got money to spend, and I've got to give orders to all of these units. I'm going to go ahead and get them out of fortification mode while we are talking. And we're going to try and annihilate this entire group down here. Should be doable. I think I can beat them all. I might take some losses in the process, but it'll really, really weaken the Huns. And then when Attila comes charging back in, we will hopefully be ready for him. So we are finally back at war with the Huns. We're going to finish them off and then march to retake Rome and become the true Roman Empire once again. And then, you know, we got some more territory to take too, but we made some pretty good progress. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I upload new episodes in Eternal Empire every day at noon Eastern Daylight Time, which is GMT-4 for those of you not in the States. And comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in a bit.